Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Evanze Kenji Sakai. I'm here to present my project was syntax. And the first part is deep structure. What is deep structure? Deep structure refers to the underlying form of a sentence that shows its basic grammatical meaning before any transformations occur. According to Chomsky 1965, the deep structure is created by phrase structure rules and represents the core meaning of sentence, including of the roles of a subject, verb, and object. It is not always visible in a final spoken or written sentence, but it reflects how the sentence is understood mentally. This structure helps us explain how different sentence forms can have the same basic meaning. The key points are made by rules created using phrase structure rules, shows basic meaning, explains who does what to whom, comes before changes, formed before any transformations, invisible in speech, not directly seen in the surface sentence. Characteristics of deep structure, abstract level. This deep structure exists in the mind and is not spoken or written directly. According to Radford 2004, it is part of our internal grammar system that reflects meaning before any rearrangement. 2. Create first. It is first step in sentence formation before transformation into surface structure. Chomsky 1965 explained that deep structure comes before surface structure in a syntactic process. 3. Shows meaning clearly. It captures the core meaning of sentence, such as subject, verb, object rules. These rules determine the arrangement of sentence elements. Carney 2013 uses phrase structure rules built from basic grammar rules that form sentence parts like noun phrase and verb phrase. 5. Helps explain ambiguity. One surface sentence can come from more than one deep structure showing different meanings. Examples of deep structure. Surface sentence. The cake was eaten by the child. Deep structure. The child ate the cake. The subject is the child, verb ate, object the cake. Structure, sentence, and then phrase-nya the child, VP ate, noun phrase the cake. Although the surface sentence is in passive voice, the deep structure shows the original meaning and subject-verb-object relationship. It tells us clearly who performed the action, the child, and what was affected, the cake. Importance of deep structure. 1. Explains ambiguity. Some sentences have more than one meaning. Example, flying planes can be dangerous. Deep structure 1, flying planes. Noun phrase, planes that fly. Deep structure 2, flying the act of flying. Deep structure helps identify and distinguish these meanings. 2. Helps with sentence transformation. Explains how one idea can take different forms. Passive. The dog chased the cat. 2. The cat was chased by the dog. Question. You are leaving. 2. Are you leaving? Negations. She likes pizza from she likes pizza to she does not like pizza. 3. Connects syntax and meaning. Deep structure bridges grammar, syntax, and meaning semantics. Cook and Newson from 2007 emphasize that deep structure reflects the mental representation of meaning, which is later shaped by syntax into spoken form. In summary, understanding deep structure is a key for explaining ambiguity, transformations, and the link between meaning and structure. Conclusion. Deep structure plays a vital role in understanding how sentences are formed and interpreted in human language. It represents the core grammatical relationships and meaning of sentence before any transformations take place. By analyzing deep structure, we can explain how sentences change into different forms, such as passive voice, questions, or negations, while still keeping the same meaning. It also helps us identify and resolve ambiguity in language. Most importantly, deep structure shows the close connection between syntax and meaning, making it a key concept in linguistic theory and language analysis. And here is the references. Now I'm moving to the second part of part 1, which is grammatical relations. Introduction to grammatical relations. Grammatical relations are the roles that sentence elements play in relation to the verb, such as subject, object, and indirect object. These roles help us understand how words in a sentence connect and contribute to its overall structure and meaning. For example, in sentence, the boy kicks the ball, the boy functions as the subject, the one doing the actions, while the ball is the object, the one receiving the actions. Recognizing grammatical relations is essential in syntax because they determine how elements are arranged and how verbs agree with the arguments. According to Carney 2013, grammatical relations are not just about word order but about deeper structural rules that influence meaning, movement, and agreement in a sentence. Core grammatical relations. Grammatical relations such as subject, object, and indirect object are the core elements of sentence structure. The subject is usually the noun phrase that performs the actions while the object receives the actions. An indirect object is typically the recipient of the object. For example, she gave him a book. Subject, she, the giver. Indirect object, him, the recipient. And direct object, a book, the thing given. Understanding these roles helps identify how information flows in a sentence. Subjects often agree with the verb in number and person, while objects can affect verb voice. These correlations are the foundation for more advanced syntactic analysis. In syntax, it's important to distinguish between grammatical functions and sentence position. A grammatical function like subject or object refers to the role a word or phrase plays in the sentence, while position refers to where it happens. In English, the subject often appears before the verb and the object after. However, this pattern can change without changing the grammatical function. For example, the boy kicked the ball. Subject, the boy. The ball was kicked by the boy. Subject, the ball, but still the receiver of the action. This shows that position doesn't always determine functions, especially in passive or questions forms. Understanding this helps us analyze transformations and structures beyond surface word order. Grammatical relations in theory diagrams. Structure breakdown. Sentence being the root of the structure. Noun phrase, the cat. Grammatical relation, subject performs the action in the sentence. Verb phrase contains the verb and its object. Verb chase, direct object. NP, the mouse. Grammatical relation, object. It receives the actions. Well, why this matters? This tree clearly shows how grammatical functions like subject and object are mapped to positions in a tree. It visually demonstrates that the subject is part of NP under S, the object is part of VP under V. Useful for analyzing sentence structure, especially in identifying roles and predicting sentence transformations. Why grammatical relations matter? 1. Sentence transformation. Grammatical relations allow us to shift between active and passive forms. Active, the dog beat the man. Passive, the man was beaten by the dog. Even though word order changes, the subject and object's roles remain clear due to grammatical relations. 2. Questions formation. In English, creating questions often involves moving the subject or object. She saw the movie. Or what did she see? Understanding grammatical roles ensures the correct transformation. 3. Subject-verb agreement. Verb must agree with their subjects in number and person. He runs versus they run. This agreement depends on recognizing the subject grammatical role. 4. Meaning interpretation. Who is doing the action and who is receiving it? Grammatical relations clarify this even in complex structures or ambiguous sentences. According to Pine 2006, grammatical relations form the backbone of sentence organization, affecting both syntax and semantics across languages. Grammatical relations versus semantic roles. While grammatical relations describe the syntactic functions of sentence elements, semantic roles explain their meaning-based roles in the actions. These two do not always align. Grammatical relations, syntactic position. Grammatical role, meaning role in the event, like agent, team, goal. For example, the alignment. The boy broke the window. Subject, grammatical, the boy. Agent, semantic, the boy. Example 2. The window was broken by the boy. Subject, grammatical, the window. Patient, semantical, the window. Agent, the boy, not the subject. This distinction is important because syntactic structure and meaning structure can behave differently. As Van Villen and Lapolia 1997 argued, separating grammatical relations from semantic goals allow us to better understand how different languages expressing meaning through structure. Applications in syntax theories. Generative grammar focuses on deep and surface structure. Grammatical relations like subject and object are derived from syntactic rules and movement. Example, passive transformation is explained by moving the object to subject position. Lexical functional grammar, LFG, separates constituent structure, C structure, from functional structure, F structure. Emphasizes grammatical relations as essential to sentence function. A sentence can have the same F structure even with different surface forms. 3. Relations grammar puts grammatical relations at the core rather than syntactic categories like NP or VP. Analyzes changes like passivation or raising as shifts in relational hierarchy from subject to object. These theories show the grammatical relations are not just labels but essential components in explaining how language works at a deep structural level. As Bresna's 2001 emphasizes that grammatical functions are necessary to bridge form and function in syntax. Conclusion. Grammatical relations such as subject, object, and indirect objects are fundamental to understanding how sentences are formed, interpreted, and transformed across languages. They serve as the backbone of syntactic structure, influencing agreement, word order, meaning, and syntactic operations like passivization and question formation. By examining grammatical relations through various syntactic theories, we see that these functions are not only about sentence form but also about how language encodes meaning and communicates relations between ideas. And here's the references. Now I'm moving on to part 2. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. And there is S for sentence, the noun phrase. Determine the adjective quick, adjective brown, and at the end is fox. As for verb phrase, V jumps proportional phrases over the lazy dog, and to break it even further, P over NP the lazy dog. Within this NP, determine the adjective lazy and noun dog. The hierarchical structure shows how the words group into phrases and how those phrases relate. The syntactic functions are the noun phrase, the quick brown fox is the subject, and the verb phrase, jump over the lazy dog, is predicate. Within the VP, the PP over the lazy dog indicates where the jumping occurs, an adverbial modifier. And the recursion is the NP inside the PP demonstrates recursion, phrases inside phrases. Understanding the deep structure is important in syntax and grammar analysis, natural language processing, language learning, and transition, identifying meaning relationships like who did what to whom. And the girl who is wearing a red dress is dancing. This is a complex sentence containing a main clause and relative clause. The tree shows its deep syntactic structure. So the noun phrase is the girl who is wearing a red dress. Determiner the and girl complementizer phrase introduces a relative clause modifying girl. Relative clause CP, who is wearing a red dress. Relative is who, and the subordinate clause NP who, subject of the embedded clause. VP V is verb phrase V wearing, NP a red dress, determiner A adjective red and dress. This relative clause acts as an adjective modifying a girl and giving more information about her. The verb phrase is dancing. V is, and the verb phrase VP, and it's dancing. V is dancing. This is the main verb phrase of the sentence, indicating what the subject, the girl is in the red dress, is doing. To summarize this is that the subject NP are noun phrase with modifier CP. This deep structure captures not just who the subject is, but also which girl is being referring to. The predicate VP simple progressive verb structure is dancing, indicating action. The structure reflects hierarchical grammar, showing main and embedded clauses, agreement between subject and verb, the position of modifiers and their relationships. Next is Stefano saw the Yehkiala with the telescope. This sentence is structurally ambiguous, and the direct and is shown illustrates the one possible deep structure interpretation. Let's break it down. So a sentence and split into noun phrase, Stefano being the subject, and verb phrase, so the Yehezikiela with the telescope being the predicate. The noun phrase is and Stefano, and the verb phrase V saw, and P being the direct object, the Yehezikiela. The determiner, the N is Yehezikiela. PP proportional phase with the telescope. P with and P there's that determiner, the nounnya telescope. Well, according to these three, the proportional phrases with the telescope is attached to the verb phrase as a modifier of the action. That means Stefano used the telescope to see Yehezikiela. So the structure expresses Stefano being the subject and saw is being the action. The Yehezikiela is the object, with the telescope is the instrument of seeing. But the sentence could also mean Stefano saw Yehezikiela who had the telescope. So in that case, the PP with the telescope would modify the NP, the Yehezikiela, meaning Yehezikiela is the one who has the telescope. Next is she believes that the earth is round. This is a complex sentence made of a main clause and complement clause. The sentence is broken into NP, she, the object, pronoun, verb phrase, believes that the earth is round, the predicate. The noun phrase she, pronounnya is she, and the verb phrase believes that the earth is round. So verb believes, CP, which is complementary phrase, introduces the introduces the embedded sentence. So what that means, what she believes. So complementary phrase, comp, that complementizer that marks the beginning of an embedded clause, the subordinate clause. The S is the embedded sentence, the earth is around, and the noun phrase is the earth, determiner the noun earth. The verb phrase is round, verb is adjective round. This embedded clause acts as the direct object of beliefs. It is what she believes. So why this is matter? So CP as a complement shows the embedded structure inside the mental state verbs like beliefs. This syntax reveals that entire clauses can act as an argument of verbs. A fundamental concept in syntax and linguistics. The deep structures help linguists determine how meaning and form are related in sentence construction. And last one is the house where I grew up has been demolished. This sentence contains a main clause and a relative clause introduced by where. So the sentence is composed of the noun phrase, the house where I grew up, determiner, the noun phrase house, complementizer phrase introduces the relative clause where I grew up. So the relative is where introduces the clause that modifies house. The S broken into NP, the I subject of the relative clause. VP grew up, verb being grow, and the PRT up, part of phrasal verb grow up. The main verb phrase has been demolished. So this is a present perfect passive construction. Verb has VP into verb being verb demolished. So this tip structure shows that the relative clause modifies the noun by providing a spatial or experimental context. The phrase where I grew up functions like adjective specifying which house. The passive construction in the main verb shows the subject, the house receives the action. So to make it in a more abstract representation, where might be understood as replacing a proportional phrase like in which I grew up. Deep structure helps explain such transformations in where movement in syntax. And that's all for my presentation, and I apologize for if there's any mistakes. So thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.